And it's a program that is aimed at encouraging young Nigerians, especially those in the secondary school and post-secondary school, on studying engineering, because we know that engineering is the future. Our life can only get better if engineering gets better in our country, and that is why this program is here to let you know the impact of engineering on our day-to-day life, how it's making life easy and how it's making life meaningful for all of us. My name is Tunde Olano, the regular anchor. My guest is already in the house, so we won't waste any of our time. And you know that it's a very interactive one, where we don't only get to talk to you alone. You have the opportunity of talking to us, answering our question, and asking questions, as it were, and winning our prize for the day, courtesy of our sponsor, Prince Engineer James Shillon, FNSC. The question for today is: a man kept 6 black, 5 brown, and 7 purple shirts in a drawer. What is the probability of his picking a purple shirt with eyes closed? If you know the answer, the options are on your screen. Just tell us the option A, B, C, or D, and then you get the prize, courtesy of our sponsor, Prince Engineer James Shillon, FNSC. And our guest is already here, so I won't waste any of our time. We would just take this very short break, and when we return, I would let you know who my guest is and what the topic he'll be discussing with us is. We are glad to know that you are still there. It's still engineering and you. And my guest for today is Engineer Dr. Abayomi Layeni. He is the Acting Dean, Faculty of Engineering of Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agowe. And he will be discussing with us today a topic he has titled Engineering the Future. What is it all about? Let me get out of your face and allow you to speak to him. Engineer Layeni, welcome to Engineering.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here and to discuss this very important topic.
All right, you can go ahead.
Okay, so engineering the future, we can see in 2 ways. Engineering the future, that means engineering creating the future, or engineering with any of the punctuation marks that you could put is the future, which means engineering is the future. If you look all around you, you'll find engineering there. So engineering says see it, live it, experience. That's all about engineering. You see it all around, we live it, we use the gadgets, we experience engineering on a daily basis. So there's these different technologies there. You have the X-ray, the shuttle going to the moon. And the question is, can you name something engineered? If you look around you in your house, at this particular moment, can you name something engineered? And the question is pretty easy. Your phones, maybe you have a TV, you have other gadgets, they are engineering. Now the other question also is, can you name something that wasn't engineered around you? And that may be very difficult, not so easy to name. So engineering is what we live in. Engineering is where we are. Engineering creates and is creating the future that we are going into. So the question again is, what is engineering? There have been several definitions, but I picked this one from Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. He says science is about what is, engineering is about what can be. So engineering picks up science and make use of what is science. So the process of producing a technical product or a system to meet a specific need. Engineering solves problems. So the art of applying scientific and mathematical principles, experience, judgment, and common sense to make system devices that benefit the society is what engineering is. Okay, so that definition may sound a bit confusing, but in basic term, engineering is just using the principles of science to develop a product or a system the best way. And one of the other key things is that engineering meets needs. So we could see what engineering is from research. You have complex analysis, that's more mathematical side, complex design, development, manufacturing. So the less mathematical side, tests and evaluation, routine design, production, operation services, and then distribution and sales. These are the areas, and so we have sales engineers, we have things like that, manufacturing engineers. So we say, who is an engineer? An engineer is a professional, is someone who has demonstrated their competence in a specific field and has been licensed by a recognized association of professional engineers. Korean does that in Nigeria and licensed engineers there. So and who is an engineer? Also, we have that not all engineers are hardware arts. We have many engineers are politicians, doctors, lawyers, professors, business people, and volunteers. I work in the academia, and I fall in the categories of professors now. So we've defined engineering, so to say. So what is the future? Now, what might the future hold? We are going into the future now. We have a stable environment. We're talking about sustainability now, global warming, and all of that things. These are things that will be produced. Will we still be using crude oil in the future? We have gadgets that will be produced, even more improved gadgets than these. There are a lot of slides I have. These are things that want to depict the future. So we have disruptive technology, that's when you have an abrupt change. You've been using a particular gadget before, a device, and there's just a sudden change in that. Then take this for example. In time past, we look at the man driving a car and is trying to read the papers, and with the today is not possible, but they are already making it possible. In the future, we have autonomous cars. You can drink your tea, drive your motor, and then the car drives itself. Look at in construction. There are some houses that have been constructed like this abroad. It's like a 3D printer that is printing the house. So the skills of the future are changing. So it's becoming more digital. This is the health sector, and they are trying to print out the organ. That's the art there. At the present stage of technology, we'll be able to print out cells that are alive, but to put the cells together to get some organs, they are already getting there. So in future, we'll soon get there. We'll get to this point. So we have virtual reality. That's already possible with our games. And we see this is virtual. You can visit a city and navigate through the city and know exactly what is where through virtual reality. So there are other uses of virtual reality. You can simulate military flight, medicines. You test these things virtually. So that's where the future is. Is in the digital future, and computational analysis form the basis of that digital future. That's my own area of study. And in computational analysis, we use mathematical modeling, science, computer science, and science engineering as what we put together a mix of the computational science and engineering. And all those gadgets you are seeing will before they are made, before they are brought out, manufactured, you would have done some computational analysis on them, whether the controls. So in biomedical field, you have computational analysis. You want to know how the app functions. You want to know the flow of the blood in the system. We have, this is a structure of the human body. I want to do some analysis. These things are becoming real now. Doctors are even doing operations virtually with the machines, and that's the future. If bioinformatics, you get into the hospital, you don't carry your files around anymore. Abroad, they are already there. Here, we are coming up on it. And then the information is just transferred to the necessary person. It's not waiting for somebody to bring the files. We have in genetics, we have in computational disease modeling. Just when the COVID came in, we could start from the point where it started, and we can model the spread of a disease. That's computational analysis. That's how it is affecting the future. This is an MRI. MRI also deals with computational analysis. Even in drug discovery, in pharmacology, I've decided to use the medical field because a lot of people will not know that the engineering is there also. There are a lot of things in the hospital, gadgets that involves the engineer. This one is just converting the biological aspect to the computational aspect. Even in plant biology, we can simulate how the plant grows. And these are things that will give us information to be able to make things better. In social sciences, we know that your web analysis, I can know how many people are using what and how they are using it. That's part of social sciences. And then we can go into GIS, neural networks, even for architecture. We can simulate even the urban and regional. We want to build an estate, we can simulate what's there. We can simulate how the estate will be before we do it. And the area of engineering that does that is called CFD, which is my own area of study. That's computational fluid dynamics. Like what you have there, you have the real world on the right. We have the real world. On the other side, we have the computational model, and we can do a lot of adjustment before we build the real world. It saves a lot of time and money. So what is computational fluid dynamics? Which is is making use of the computer, numerical analysis, to analyze and solve problems involving mostly fluid, heat. It's even structures too can use that. So I have why fluid CFD. CFD saves a lot of money. Computational analysis generally saves you a lot of money. If I do a design now, and it doesn't do what I want, I have to model, create a model, physical model, then change something there, run it again, and if it doesn't do it again, I have to create another model. It's costly, it's time wasting, and that's what CFD saves you. So this is what we have. The design is faster, makes you can optimize any system before it gets done. So CFD in aerospace, I can design I can perform flight performance, I simulate flight performance, I can design the wings of the plane and simulate it in automotive engineering. Even the engine, the heat in the engine, we can see how it's been dissipated. In defense, in military, the terrain where the vehicles will be working, all the gadgets can be simulated even before building. In marine, that's a rig in the ocean. I can see the effect of the ocean on the rig even before building it. In weather, even the weather that we have, weather forecast we have today is done by CFD, and we use it to predict. In electronics, where you have heat and then you want to remove the heat, and many things. In the chemical reactors, we can do that. In biomedical, that's an inhaler, and the heart or lungs, that is the person is breathing. We can simulate all these things. The problems are that, so you can do whatsoever you want to do with CFD. And then you can do it, you optimize it, then you build it. So the process is this. That's a river flowing. This is just an example. And I want to do some things with that river flowing. That's the normal river flowing. The other one shows that I've added dikes there. See that the red portion shows that the velocity has increased there. Look, if I remove the dike and I add this chevron there in the middle, it shows that, see, the flow pattern has changed. So I can know all this using CFD, and I can do all the manipulation with that before going physically there. So how does CFD run? So we define the geometry, the domain, we mesh the domain, we do the physics, that's the material properties, the equations that applies. We define the boundary conditions and we set the solvers. You will see that the solver then solves it and then you have a result there. You will see the engineers that are building the softwares are there, and there are others that are actually we apply the softwares. So I can even teach a secondary school student to apply the software. The only problem is when he brings this, how would he know whether to accept it? The engineering knowledge is not there. That's the only. So this is where the future is going in engineering. Today, simulation and computational analysis is an area of study and expertise, but we are already teaching our students every aspect of engineering has its own, because before you solve a problem, if you are an engineer in the future, you have to do the simulation to find the appropriate solutions that will do before you go ahead. And so the applicability of CFD is wide. Is very, very wide, and it's something that students today, I see a lot of students are already into computers. So if they come into computational analysis, well, I say they're into computers because they can use it well. Some are already programming from secondary school. Some are already doing some things with their phone. Even some of these applications are already on the phones and they are using it. And that's presenting CFD and computational analysis to young engineers is an area that they can easily come into and do well in. I think, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for really doing justice to the topic, engineering the future. Now, I'd like to pick you up on some things in your presentation. First of all, CFD, how much of it have we been applying in the engineering process in this country, especially in Nigeria? I could see some of the things on your slides, and I could see that most of them, not all of them, are inventions, innovations from the Western world.
Yeah, well, we've been applying CFDs. I know in the oil and gas industry, there is no consultants there. They have people that work on CFD there. They have to do the simulations there. I know in the automotive industry, yes, they do a lot of CFD there too. And in the building services industry, I've seen a couple of consultants use it, but most of the things are standard.
We have a caller. Glory, hello, good evening, Glory. How are you? So you want to ask my guest a question? Okay, go ahead. Be all right, Glory. I'll let you know if you are correct. Keep watching. Thank you so much for calling. All right.
Okay, so there are some industries that are already applying it. They're already going into the future with it.
But why can't we have more? Because from what you said, I find it very interesting because it makes the job easy. It makes us feel like we are compliant and we can compete favorably, and our society can be better for it. So, what is the limitation?
The limitation is the teaching of it, which we are already overcoming. Teaching of it at the BSc level, we've been doing teaching computational analysis at the master's level, but we needed to bring it down to the BSc level. The new systems of NUC has some of these components, especially for chemical engineering, automotive engineering. I've seen that of biomedical engineering too. I have this comment that we should start teaching them at the BSc level, and when they get to know this, they begin to apply it. So before you do a design, you would have simulated it, you would have done an optimization there, and it's also good for problem solving. Let's say there's a problem now. The first thing I do is I try to simulate the problem. I create the domain and simulate the problem. After I've done that, I now begin to look for the solution. I begin to change parameters on my simulation and see the effect on what I want to do. Eventually, I can optimize and then come out before I now build a model to test. You will see I would have saved a lot of time. I would have saved a lot of money. And in doing that.
So if a young Nigerian, maybe a young secondary school leaver wants to, is interested in this kind of thing and is going to the tertiary institution to study maybe mechanical engineering, and he has to do this simulation and all of that, does he have a prerequisite to which, or what would he need to know to be able to grasp this when it's being taught at BSc level?
At least when it comes in at the 100 level, he will do the basic physics, chemistry, maths, and now we're including biology. That would have formed the foundation. Then his engineering courses on thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, also then strength of materials will also have given him the knowledge. So these courses come in during their 300 level when they have the basic engineering knowledge.
We have another caller. Hello, good evening. Good evening, sir. Your name and where are you coming from? Okay, Kazim from Ota. Please go ahead.
All these principles that I realize of the basic science, they are not something to tell you that some of the students that are working or that are doing and what they are doing in engineering. Especially after they have to do with the computer engineering. Everything that is very nothing can lower down the Ministry of Education.
Kazim, thank you so much for calling, but you have really made a very, very salient point. I would like you to speak to that.
Yes, we are even trying to get to the secondary school too. But one of the problems we see with the secondary schools is that most of the students are actually being taught to pass exams. We also have that at the university too. They bring it over to, they just want to pass. I said, no, it's not just passing the exams. It's understanding the principles, it's being able to apply the principles. If you are in your 400 level engineering and you can't do anything, that means you've wasted all. What they do, engineering is a build-up. Is a build-up from the basics, the second year, is like a pyramid. But what they do is they just do the year one courses, they pass, they drop it. Do the year two courses, they pass, they drop it. But they are supposed to connect all. And we are trying our best. Even the new system as curriculum is trying to do that so that there can be a connect.
Okay, John from Ikorodu. Hello, John. Good evening. All right, John, do you want to ask my guest a question, or do you want to ask her a question? All right, please go ahead. Is what? D. All right. D for dog, right? D. All right, thank you so much. John, keep watching. I'll let you know if you are correct or not. Thank you so much.
So my thought is this: that for engineering, there should be, they've tried the 624th wanted all the schools to have the technology. There is still intro to tech there. But if there is a center at like in Abeokuta, you have one center or two or three centers, an engineering center where some of these things are, and the students go there. They have time, they go there, that they can actually do some hands-on work there. There are people that take them through. Yes, that center will help a lot, especially the people aspiring to become engineers. So the government can initiate that to be able to do that, to encourage those of our students that want to go into engineering. It will what they do in school is they read and they want to pass exams. So that idea is just there for the school. But if there is a center, a different center, we said you go there if you're interested in engineering, science and engineering, they keep going to the center. Okay.
All right, great. And you'll be our last caller for today. Good evening, how are you doing? Good evening, can you hear me? All right, please go ahead. All right, go ahead. No, I want the alphabet, A, B, C, or D. All right, I'll let you know if you're correct. Great. Thank you so much for calling. Do have a wonderful. All right, we have to go, and I would like to. We have to go now. I'd like to ask you, put you on the spot. One, I want to encourage someone, a young Nigerian that is watching us.
Okay.
Why they must study engineering.
Okay.
And two, I would like to your sincere opinion about the sponsor of the program, Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon,
okay.
FNSC. What he is trying to do, how laudable or otherwise is it?
Okay. So why you must study engineering, I've showed you engineering is the future. Most of the jobs in the future are going to be engineering based. They are going digital and they're going to be engineering based. So go ahead, even if you are going into medicine, there are still the engineering there. If you are in social science, they still have there. So where you can be employed, the spectrum has been widened. So go into engineering and be able to fix yourself anywhere. So I want to thank the sponsor of the program. This is a very good program for our secondary school students, even primary school students, needs to be encouraged. And this is a program, a live program that encourages our students to do this. And it's a very laudable project that she has invented, or she has attempted to do, and I believe she can also do more. But it's also this is good. This is very good. She can be involved with the government too. With what we are saying, we question the government, so that we can push this thing, and engineering can be practiced better.
Thank you so much for coming, Engineer Dr. Abeokuta, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you to our sponsor, Prince Engineer Shilon, FNSC, for what you are doing. And then for the question for the week is already on your screen. The number of pencils were shared among Peter, Paul, and Audu in ratio 2, 3, and 5, respectively. If Peter got 5, how many pencils were shared? The options are there, you can call us. For the question for the day, the answer is B. And Glory from Away called us first. So Glory, you are our winner for today because you called first and you got the answer. So you can call this number 08030860711, 08030867011 for your prize. And we have to go now. Thank you so much for watching. Do have a blessed day. Until then, until next week. Bye-bye.